Do you ever find yourself feeling cynical about the world, and how do you overcome this feeling? I really like this question because I'm overly cynical about the world. How do we be positive too and not just be a downer all the time, right?
I think it's natural to experience cynicism. I would be worried if I was never cynical about anything, because it would almost indicate a lack of care, some sort of apathy towards whatever we might be dealing with. And there are things that I frankly just don't care about.
Yeah.
And there's other things that I get fired up. I mean, we just did 2 headlines that both of us are excited about, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that we were being cynical necessarily. I hope we were looking at it intelligently and reasonably. But yeah, I do get cynical about a lot of things that I see, whether it's in the work environment, or somebody hoses me, or in culture in general, or even in relationships. You know, it's easy to think the worst about somebody, or jump to conclusions, or let your insecurities get in the way. So I think realizing that being cynical is actually just a human condition, and it's designed to keep you safe and protected, that awareness is really helpful, because then you can decide how to respond to the way that you're feeling. So to me, the emotion isn't the problem. Anger, frustration, shame, guilt, sorrow, remorse, whatever,
indicators
is
on the
not
dashboard.
the problem.
Yeah.
That's all it is. The problem is, how do we respond to it? So the analogy that I've used is what you just said. If you're looking at your dashboard on your vehicle, you're driving down the road, and the little flickering light comes on and says low gas, you don't jerk your car off the side of the road and go wrap it around a tree or a telephone pole. You slow down, you figure out where the next exit is, you take the exit, you pull into the gas station, you pump your gas, and then you get back on the road. No harm, no foul. You address the issue and you're back on your way. Slowed you down a little bit, but you're safe. Everybody's safe, and you're going to get to where you were going. But that's what we laugh at, that analogy, but that's what we do when we get angry and we decide to punch a wall, or angry about how work went, and then we lash out at our spouse or our children. It's the same thing that we're doing. But being aware of it helps you refine it, helps you temper it, helps you understand that, you know, it's how do I respond to what I'm feeling? And to answer Jay's question, I think it's taking action.
Yeah.
If something comes up and I get frustrated about it, but there's nothing I can do about it, then I try to let those things slide, because what's the point of just stewing and brewing on something that's just going to piss me off all day? But then I can segment the things that I'm interested in, or that I'm cynical about or frustrated with, into, and compartmentalize into items of action. Now, all of a sudden, if I see something going wrong and I take action, I'm not as cynical about it, because I'm moving towards the result. I'm actually part of the solution, not just griping and moaning about the problem. So the answer to me is taking action, leaving what you have no control over, taking action towards the things that you do, and be, as I think Gandhi would say, be the change that you want to see in the world.
Yeah. The only thing that I'd add, and I'm projecting what I do, is I'll do that, Ryan. I'll take action, but I'll take an action while having a heart at war towards you the whole time, right? And so I'll be like,
sure,
oh, Ryan should have done this. And so the whole time I'll take action, I'll get it done, but I'm doing it really from a real negative space, right? And then I'll show up.
Yeah.
I'll show up really negative. And so for me, what has been powerful is understanding the human condition. Like, far too often, most things that make me upset, it's a human. It's not like the weather's bad and I'm mad at the weather. I don't get mad at the weather, but I get mad at some moron that does something that I'm like, why did you do it that way? And I don't, you know what I mean? And I've placed harsh judgment on them, and I have this expectation of how it should or shouldn't have gone, and I'll take action, but the whole time I'm doing it in a really negative way. And the best way that I've learned to deal with that is to understand the human condition. That most people, when they're doing something stupid, they're not doing it to piss me off. That they're actually trying. That based upon where they are in their life, that's the best they could do. They don't know a better way, or They're acting out of insecurity. Like, there's so much to the story, and I need to have grace towards other humans and realizing that they have their own battles. They're trying their best, and I need to be a little bit slower to judge, and then look at the opportunity as a space to serve and to help, not as a space to get it done and then rub it in their face, or, you know what I mean, other negative emotions towards them.
Yeah. Well, I like what you said. The other only consideration here is, I know Jay, both of us do personally, he's a good friend of both of ours. He's in a line of work where it would be hard not to be cynical. He's a police officer. So
Totally
he's
hard.
dealing with not only, some of the worst people on the planet at times, but he's also dealing with the red tape and the bureaucracy and the bullcrap. And in those instances, I think you do the best that you can do. You remember why you're doing it. You try to make a difference. And then also you try to compartmentalize it. So when you get home, leave that stuff as best you can and engage with your family, engage with your hobbies and your activities and your interests and the things that fuel you in a positive, constructive way, because you spend so much time in a really dark profession, and one that is increasingly unpopular in the country, which makes it even harder.